Hey, what's up, folks? Big Ball Daddy with you on a Wednesday, August the 12th, 2009. That's right, folks, just 24 days till football time in Tennessee. And you're tuned in to the Big Orange Breakdown. Alright, folks, welcome back. Now, as I planned out this first little broadcast of mine for my college football video series, right now, this is the format that I have laid out to do. If you guys have any suggestions on things I should do, features that I could do with my limited computer abilities, of course, please put them in the comments section below. Actually, what I had in mind for today was a video just kind of letting you know how things are going in Knoxville. And for those of you who are not Tennessee fans and don't keep up with the Big Orange, folks, let me tell you, there is some physical stuff going on in Knoxville right now. Lane Kiffin and the rest of his staff are really putting these guys through the grinder. They started two-a-days Monday. In fact, today is their second of two-a-days.
Two-a-day practice, extremely long day, obviously, for our guys to come out here, which is great to have. You know, this is a long day, and it's tough, and it's grueling, and you end with a live goal line period, with a lot of crowd noise. It was really good to see. No penalties right there. You know, it ended up being 11 plays, with as loud as you can turn noise up. It was really good to see. It's a game that takes a lot of concentration, so we practice the same way, as loud as it'll be when we go on the road and have to be on the 2-yard line. So it's good to see our guys respond.
Now, I will remind you of the three major injuries that we do have at Tennessee right now. Austin Rogers is out for the year with a torn ACL. Denarius Moore has a broken bone in his foot, so we're not really sure if and when he will be back. And Gerald Jones, he's got a cast on his wrist. He's been practicing, and from all accounts, he looks great. So I look for him to make a huge contribution this year. Now, moving along to the freshmen. Bryce Brown, David Oku, the two highly touted running backs. Nukees Richardson, the guy we stole from Florida. Gosh, I still love the thought of that. And Marcellus Teague, another freshman, outstanding receiver. By all accounts, through the media and from the coaching staff, these guys are making incredible progress in fall camp.
You can't simulate this. You can't simulate coming out and pounding your body as long as they did this morning and coming back and doing it again. You know, it's tough, and that's what it's supposed to be. It's not supposed to. 2 days aren't supposed to be easy, and they don't give you many of them anymore. So when you have them, you got to maximize them. It was very good. But the defense really came out and did a great job today. You know, last couple of plays there, the offense got a great push. The two pups, you know, scored back-to-back runs, which was good to see them get in that setting. So I think the defense responded. But if you're a good team, you know, which we hope that will eventually be, you know, it's going to go back and forth. If one side wins all the time, you got a problem. And that's when you're in 6-3 games or you're in 50-48 games, and that's not what we're looking for.
So those four for sure are going to be huge contributors to the Tennessee football team this year. Our defense is looking good this year.
Our guys are in good shape. They worked hard this summer. They bought into the program. There's no choice but to go hard, and they know that. And this is going to be a physical football team, and that's what Coach Kiffin's building. They're right in.
The problem with Tennessee this fall is going to be depth. We're still young. A lot of recovery work to do from the Philip Fulmer era. The last few years have been down in terms of recruiting for Tennessee, not what we're used to around here. But I have a very strong feeling that Lane Kiffin will get things back to where they need to be in a few years. Just look at his recruiting class this year. Amazing recruiting class for the limited time he had to work with. So kudos to Kiffin and his staff. Let's talk about SEC football this fall as it relates to schedules. And actually, the first game of the year this year is not on the 5th. It's Thursday, September the 3rd. I'm sure a night game where Steve Spurrier takes his Happy Cocks north to Raleigh, North Carolina, and they will take on the North Carolina State Wolfpack. That should be a really good, entertaining game. Now, there's some really big games that weekend, and of course, everyone knows about Virginia Tech and Alabama. That's going to be a great game. I can't wait to watch that game. A couple of ugly colors, but a couple of great teams, and it should be a rumble down in Atlanta. Now, some other games going on in the SEC the first weekend that no one's talking about very much. Georgia travels to Oklahoma State, and that's LSU goes west to take on Washington and Seattle. Now, I know Washington was terrible last year. I think they went 0 for the season. But anytime you take a big SEC powerhouse like LSU and you load them up and you travel out west to take on somebody from the Pac-10, it's going to be a ball game. I don't care how bad the team is out there. There's just something about the SEC that gets those guys' juices flowing, and they want some heads when it comes to taking on the SEC. Hey, just ask the Vols. We've had a couple of really bad trips out west the last couple of years. Also, we've got the big one, the really big, huge game of the first weekend. Western Kentucky travels to Knoxville to take on your Tennessee Volunteers. And by all rights, that shouldn't be much of a game, but it's going to be packed. It's going to be loud. It's going to be raucous. It's going to be awesome. And I'll be there to bring you back some video footage. On some of the other games in the first weekend, Kentucky travels up to Cincinnati to play Miami of Ohio. I think that's considered a neutral site. Kentucky should handle that game. Also, Florida, they get a visit from a powerhouse from the South. Charleston Southern comes calling. I look for the Charleston Southern squad to make this a really close game and keep it under 100 for the Gators. Auburn and new head coach Gene Chizik, they're going to be taking on Louisiana Tech. That should be interesting for about a quarter and a half. Arkansas hosts Missouri State. These are all on September 5th, of course. Vanderbilt is going to be hosting Western Carolina. Now, there is one game on Sunday, September the 6th, and this should be a pretty good game, too. It usually is. Ole Miss will be taking on Memphis, and that's always a really good game. Okay, Mississippi State with their new head coach Dan Mullen welcomes Jackson State. That should be a real barn burner. Alrighty, folks, that just about wraps it up for this first edition of the Big Orange Breakdown. I'm Big Vol Daddy, and I hope I've given you some information that you can use. And if I haven't, Google it.